Good evening, barbecue family, and welcome to a special episode of Midwest Backyard Matters, proudly presented by Man Meat Barbecue. Whether you are out on the driveway, in the backyard, or out on the KCBS competition trail, always remember that backyard matters. So what we're doing tonight is rolling out a special news segment that we are calling When the Smoke Clears. And on When the Smoke Clears, we will highlight a specific competition, and we will bring on the top 5 from that competition and get their input on how their cooks went, what went wrong, and overall impressions from the competition itself. But before we get to our top 5 from this past weekend's Q for a Cause, we would like to update the Team of the Year and bring on the Team of the Year standings so we can see where we are with that. But we also do have the top 10 both days for Q for a Cause. So winning the grand championship on day 1 was Robert Jackson with Swinolicious Barbecue. Taking home reserve grand, Devin Holt with Fluffy Butt Barbecue. 3rd, Sam Dodson, Bull in the Ring. 4, Travis Farthing, Swine S Fine. 5th, Brian Calhoun and Weeze's Groovin' Barbecue. 6th, Lee Heercock with Cookin' with Wood. 7, Josh Hess with Hess Hogs 4. 8, Bad Influence Barbecue. 9, Chuck Simpson with Hicks from the Sticks. And rounding out the top 10 was Zach Daughtry and Katie Daughtry with Breaking Slabs Barbecue. And on day 2, we had some shakeups. Josh Hess takes home grand championship. Devin Holt wins reserve grand championship, number 2. Number 3 was Who Let the Smoke Out. Number 4, The Smoking Goat. 5, Hicks from the Sticks. 6, Weeze's Groovin' Barbecue. 7, Swinolicious Barbecue. 8, Cookin' with Wood. 9th, O-Town Q. And rounding out your top 10, Money Shot Barbecue. A little bit of movement in the Team of the Year points for Backyard Chicken. Staying in first place was Ham Squad. 2nd, Furlong Smokin' Seafood. 3rd, Fluffy Butt. 4th, Smack You. Moving into 5th, Hickory Hangover. In 6th, Rib Life. Moving up to 7th overall in Backyard Chicken, Swinolicious. 8, Weeze's Groovin' Barbecue. 9, Tasker's Barbecue Supply. And rounding out the top 10 in Backyard Chicken, Hess Hogs 4. For Backyard Ribs, Team of the Year points, Leela Q moves into 1st overall. 2nd, Mispillion Meatworks. 3rd, Weeze's Groovin' Barbecue. 4, Swinolicious. 5th, The Fat Is Where It's At. 6th, Dog Patch Q. 7th, Alan Larimore and Wrecking Crew Barbecue. Moving into 8th place, Fluffy Butt Barbecue. 9, TFS Pit Vipers. And rounding out the top 10 in Backyard Ribs, Team of the Year is Hickory Hangover. So we compiled the top 5 overall for both days of Q for a Cause, and we're going to bring them on one by one here. So rounding out the top 5 for this week's Q for a Cause is Lee Heercock out of Kearney, Nebraska.
Yep.
How are you, Lee? Thanks for coming on tonight.
Good. Technology is not my strong suit. Hand me a rack of ribs, I can do something with it. Hand me a computer or iPhone. It was a challenge.
Not a problem. Well, thanks for coming on. We're going to keep on introducing our top 5, and then we're going to discuss with you guys tonight the competition. Coming in 4th overall at Q for a Cause, Brian Calhoun with Weeze's Groovin' Barbecue. Weeze, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing really, really good. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yes, sir.
Top 3, 3rd overall at this weekend's Q for a Cause, Robert Jackson and Swinolicious.
Hey,
Robert.
guys.
Hey, man. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you all?
Doing good. Doing good. Good to see you. With the Reserve Grand Championship, 2nd overall at Q for a Cause this past weekend, Josh Hess and Hess Hogs 4.
Sorry. Hello, everybody.
You doing good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You enjoying yourself tonight?
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to continue on with the Grand Championship, both days of the 2022 Q for a Cause, Devin Holt and Fluffy Butt Barbecue. Hey, man.
Thank you, fellas. Hey.
Well, guys, it was a really, really good competition. a lot of different things. We cooked it. Really, really good time. How about you guys, give us your overall impression of the competition itself before we move on here?
Quiet.
Anyone
Want to give your overall impression of how the competition?
I
Yeah,
thought it was great.
I'll
Nick
start
and
off.
his team, they put on one heck of a comp. They worked their butts off. I know, especially on Friday and Saturday, Nick was running around, trying to get stuff done, and it seemed like somebody would stop him. He would focus on that, and then somebody else would, and it just, but the whole group, they did a great job of, getting everything ready and really focusing on, us cooks, and that's, it was really a great comp.
Yeah,
How about you
that
other
was
guys?
my first time meeting Nick, and it was I drove almost 1,600 miles round trip to come down there and cook, and it was definitely worth it. Nick puts on, he made sure that everybody had what they needed. I mean, all the helpers, were awesome. So, like I said, to me, I'll definitely be coming back next year. Plus, got to meet a lot of new cooks, and then I got to hang out with some of you guys, for dinner and stuff like that. So it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a great contest. My first backyard contest through KCBS. Everything I'd done before was master stuff back 16 through 18 or through 19. The talent and competitor level was just as tough Saturday and Sunday as what you would see at majority of the KCBS master level. The backyard division is tough. I truly left Nebraska thinking I was going to, kick some butt and take some, Oklahoma money home with me. And that was not the case. And, but Nick does an awesome job. The facility, and the layout is very good. For you guys have cooked at many places, that down there was, cooker friendly, whether it was the help or whether the layout of, how he had us in there. So kudos to Nick Davis.
So real quickly, since you brought it up, what made you go back to doing backyard, going to do backyard rather than moving back to Master Series?
Money. I could spend $300 on an entry fee, to go to, Tahlequah, down there, or I could spend $1,000 and go to the Royal. Tahlequah was my 2022 KCBS contest. It was basically my Royal, and I'm glad I did it. Tyson has been a sponsor, and they sent me down with some awesome pork and ribs, and I love competing. I'm involved in a Midwest Barbecue Association, is what we call ourselves here in Nebraska. It's fundraising. It's kind of like the Grasshopper. We're mainly a rib group, but we'll do ribs and pork at some places. And our finals, we do a 4 meat. But, that's the way that's where I come from. 2019, I competed fairly hard, and the 2020 COVID hit, and 2021, I had back surgery and didn't compete at all. And I didn't know if I was tough enough to be able to compete this year, but I don't know if I'm tough enough, but I'm probably hard-headed enough that I got through it.
Sure.
And a double war on a guy. But
I think we're all feeling it still.
Right.
Wednesday night, I think we're all still feeling it from the weekend. I was there. That'll be a week ago tomorrow. And but no, you're right, Lee. Hess, Devin, what about you?
Yeah, this was my first time coming down to that. This is my first season competing as well. And it was one that Ryan said definitely get down to. So I knew on my calendar I was going to check mark that box. And then getting down there, yeah, everything ran extremely smoothly. Probably the funnest comp we've done all season. It was nice just seeing some of the faces and the teams and everything that we've only seen on Facebook. So now I actually got to meet people as well. And then going out for dinner and stuff, kind of getting that barbecue family life going as well. Where most of the comps, we've all been kind of straight focused. And so it was fun to see everybody loosen up and have some fun out there and enjoy it. Definitely another one for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Hess, what about
absolutely.
you? Did you enjoy your living arrangements for the?
I did. I had a really cool roommate. I got to sleep on a chair, so it was nice.
Yeah.
No, but honest to goodness, that was this past comp was my 7th state this year to compete in, and just the accommodations, how organized it was. Anyone on Nick's team was just so helpful.
Mm-hmm.
If you needed something, I think Brian or Robert had said it best. Nick would stop. He would listen to you. He would resolve it if he could. But at the end of the day, it was taken care of. So I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting to hang out with everyone. I enjoyed all the Cajun food we ate. Time for the occasion, but it was just a good event. Really good event.
Yeah, shout out to Lenny, bro.
Yeah, we're definitely going back to that restaurant next year.
Dude,
oh, it's so good.
Right? It was delicious.
Robert,
you got to come with us.
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah, we were expecting you to come out with us on Saturday.
Robert.
You didn't go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll blame it on my wife. How about that?
I just text her.
No, I mean, Hess and I ate there so much. We ate there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we probably would have gone Sunday if we had time.
Yeah.
Right. We ate so many different things on the menu. You guys got to experience it on Saturday night, and I mean, were we not lying about how good it was? I mean, it was unbelievable.
It was good. I was happy.
It was cool. It was really cool just to hang out with you guys. Like, we don't get, that's what I think one of the cool things about it. That was our first double. Well, we've done an SCA double. We've never done a KCS double. I think that was one of the cool things about it, is that you got to like relax with everybody, after the comp, go hang out, have dinner, relax a little bit before your prep for the next day. And that was just a really cool thing. Nick Davis, really shout out to him and his whole team that worked Q for a cause. Like I said, obviously it went to a great cause in and of itself to help a special Olympics there in his Oklahoma. And we're getting Robert in trouble. Good job, Hess.
Right.
Always the troublemaker with the fireball or with your
Exactly.
So no, it was a really well-run event. Like I said, I think we all had a great time, a great experience down there. I know everybody else did. A lot of teams there, and like Lee said, highly competitive environment. Like I said, beyond just being a good time, it was a highly competitive environment, and it's almost like we some of us, we talked about it. It's almost like the Royal of the backyard in a sense, right? Because you had so many good teams there chasing points. And in the top 10 in both categories that were there, and then you throw in the little extra wrinkle of pork. And, no, it was a really cool time. We're definitely for next season.
Yeah, I'm all about the pork now, and I can't cook chicken right no more, but I can cook pork
and dessert.
So let's talk about pork
exactly.
here. Let's talk about pork here, kind of moving into what went right. So Weeze and Lee both 180'd on day 2 in pork, but Lee outdid Weeze. And what happened to you, Lee, on day 2 with pork? Lee, can you hear me?
I couldn't understand it.
Okay. What happened to you? So you and Weeze both 180'd on day 2, but something extra special happened to you that doesn't happen a whole heck of a lot. What did you get to experience in the pork category for day 2?
Well, both days, the pork that I had the opportunity to cook, provided by Tyson, was killer. In the back, you can see, one of those green ribbons came from the American Royal in 16 with a Tyson IVP, pork butt. what I took with me to Oklahoma was as good a quality of product. I thought my cook on Saturday was better.
Oh no.
Oh no! Just as we're getting to the
Good part.
I can finish.
It was better
I
than
know what he did.
his cook was better than his internet connection.
So, just not to leave everybody hanging for Lee to get back on. Lee was a perfect on Sunday, and so that is an exceedingly rare thing that happens in competition barbecue, to be a not only a 180 but a perfect. Lee, we just talked about your perfect.
Yeah, that perfect. Back in 19, I was one flavor point away from, or in 16, I was one flavor point away from a perfect score at the Royal. I placed sixth. That 1 point always has haunted me forever. And they probably made up for that, quite a bit, in order to get 6 judges that like the appearance, like the flavor, like the texture, all to write down a 9. There's normally one of them that's going to write down an 8 or a 7, or who knows. It got pulled off, and I am thankful that made the 575-mile trip all worth it.
Absolutely. Like I said, congratulations to you and Weeze again on that, because like I said, it's difficult as it is to get a 180. It's another feat in onto itself to have a perfect. So like I said, congratulations to you guys again. So let's move into what went right. What went right.
I got 2 180s.
That's right. You did 180.
Sure did.
That's right. You dessert. Hess and I don't know if you other guys, but me and Hess and Katie tried your dessert, and Hess, dude, it was so good.
That's not me making the noise.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Weird. Anyway, Hess, Weeze's dessert on Saturday.
Oh, it was okay.
It was okay.
Hey, we got to try the pieces that were falling apart. So
it was. I would say this. It was the best dessert I had all day.
Yeah, no,
it's
it
the only
was
one you had, right?
No.
Well, if you count the fireball, it wasn't. But
There was fireball.
Yeah, I heard.
All right.
Allegedly. So tell everybody what you made on the dessert.
So it was a pecan cheesecake. So I basically took a pecan pie and then put a cheesecake on top of it. And then just did a little drizzle on the top and sent it. But the problem I had 6 4-inch cheesecakes, and 3 of them did not make the cut. So I have a last minute decision, and I'm glad Josh was in there helping me. I cut 3 of them in half, and basically so I could get 6 pieces turned in. I almost didn't turn anything in, but we ended up just kind of, changing it on the fly, and I think we turned it in with about a minute to spare. So
no, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it didn't win. I forgot what winning. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter. But that dessert was lights out good. It was so awesome. So what about you, Robert? So what went really well for you during your cook on both days?
Honestly, I thought everything went pretty good. I was, day 1, I was happy with everything. Day 2, I was happy with my chicken and my ribs. The pork, this is only the 3rd time I've done comp pork, but I thought it was okay. I mean, I thought the taste was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit over, and I had a tough time cutting it. I definitely need to look at a better knife or a knife sharpener if I continue to do pork.
Yeah.
But and I was afraid I got it done a lot earlier than I did on Saturday, so I was afraid it was going to tighten up on me. But I still had a score of I think it was 6 or something. Said it was too mushy, so apparently it didn't tighten up enough.
Yeah. Weeds, what about you?
I mean, I was obviously extremely happy with pork, which I made the comment maybe I should go pro so I can cook pork all the time, since that's the only thing I'm gonna get a call in. But yeah, I would say pork went good. I mean, chicken and ribs. I mean, obviously I came chasing points, and I didn't get anything in that. And on Sunday I tried to go a little more middle of the road, but I ended up hitting a dead end instead. You know what I mean? So it was kind of, it was like I said, I think probably a couple months ago I'd have been upset not getting points, but it was such a fun trip down, starting with my stop in Kansas City for dinner with DeWitt and Kane, then hanging out with you guys, and just kind of like, I think I've kind of settled into where I'm going to finish where I'm going to finish. You know what I mean? It's obviously I'm chasing points this weekend again, and then after that, it is where it is. You know what I mean? Like I think at some point, like Kane kind of told me, I started chasing myself. Instead of I started moving too much stuff if I wasn't getting, a first or second or something like that, where instead of just staying the course, I think I moved too much through at the end of the year. So I think I learned just to cook what you cook, and like I said, some judges are going to like it, some judges aren't, so it was kind of, like I said, pork was, I definitely like cooking pork. I think that was my sixth competition this year cooking pork. So, and I've got I think my last three comps, I've got top, I think top 2 and 3 in pork. So
Yeah. Hess, what about you?
I was really grateful for the way the weather was, being someone had to cook outside, kind of not in a trailer or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That I think helped my cook. I was happy both days with my turn-ins. I feel like my pork tightened up on me on Sunday. And I kept it in the Cambro, but I'm sure I opened the Cambro too much, putting ribs in and out and things like that. So my pork was a bit tight, but other than that, I was happy. I mean, the judges, several judges left comment cards, which I really appreciated. And the way the comment cards were filled out, it wasn't just, this tastes great, this didn't taste good. I mean, they went through, checked the boxes, said if they were certified judge or non-certified judge. Wake up, please. But I just was really happy with the event, and I lucked out. I got placed at a couple good tables, and in the end, it helped me out on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. Like I said, that I was thinking about you. Like I said, we had that benefit of having the camper. Typically we do cook out in tent. We didn't this past weekend, and I was kind of wondering how I was going to affect like Weeze, Robert, and Hess on cooking outside. And obviously, you guys have learned how to roll with the punches on adjusting your timeline, fire management, and outdoor conditions. As far as like prepping outside and doing things like that, there's effect. And like I said, you guys have definitely adjusted to compete at a high level. When prepping all this, in a pop-up outside of a camper. So, Devin, what about you?
Yeah, we felt it went pretty smooth all weekend for us, to be honest. Pork was the category that I have never competed in pork. I'd actually only cooked it once so far in a can before that time, and so I wasn't really quite sure if the flavor, what it was going to be, how it was. And day one that it showed, it was 16th there. So I picked some things day 2, got into it thinking, well, we'll see. But I was same thing as Weeks. I was there to chase chicken. Instead of getting chicken points, I ended up getting rib points. And we thought our chicken was good both days to be up there. And judges thought day 2 it was worse than day 1. So yeah, we didn't get those points. We got the rib points. Kind of flipped with Robert over there. I know he's been chasing ribs all season and me chicken, and we kind of swapped it over on that. But pork was fun to cook. It was fun managing 3 cans at that point. Kind of made things even a little more challenging on it to kind of give you that feel of it. But I didn't think I'd like to cook pork as well as I did, since I'm not a huge pork fan to eat anyway. But it was fun. and it was exciting to see that second day. But overall, it went pretty smooth for us, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. So let's kind of shift into what didn't go right, right? So like for all of you guys, even though you achieved top 5, did you have anything that went wrong on either day of your cooks? Let's start with how about you, Lee? Did you have any kind of setbacks on either one of your days that you could do and
For the most part, cook went according to plan. After the first day, I was disappointed on flavor. I took my sauce. I've got a homemade sauce I use to Nick, and I said, "Will this win down here?" Because when I turned in my pork, I truly thought they could ding me for tenderness. I looked at the sheet. 5 out of the 6 gave me 9s on tenderness, but 5 out of the 6 on flavor gave me 8s. And I never get out flavored. I may get out textured, but and so and I had never thought of it, but Nick says you're outside venue and outside judges, you need to add some salt.
Mm-hmm.
I've never added salt on the idea of, especially on my pork. My flavors have always been strong. I've added salt other places, but never on pork. And I got to give Nick credit. I'll give him some credit for, that perfect.
Yeah. Lee sounded like the Terminator. So we're gonna. It's his. That was the background noise. I'm pretty positive. Anywho, let's get moving on. Weez, what about you? Did you have any setbacks that you had to roll the punches on?
No, I felt like all my cooks went smooth. Like I said, I didn't. I got a lot of 9s and tenderness on ribs. On Sunday, I got 2 7s and a 6 on flavor. 2 people said they were bland, which obviously when you get comments like that, you kind of just move on from there, because it's just what I mean. It's all, like I said, like I've heard, like, we don't compete against each other. We compete against the judges. So unfortunately, they weren't a big fan of my ribs that day. And like I said, chicken. And the only setback for chicken, I got a couple that my stuff was chewy, and I finished about 20 minutes early and left it in the butter. So I'm assuming, that's kind of maybe it, got them a little soft. But besides that, I thought everything went, like I said, smooth. I didn't really have any issues. Nick was awesome. Only 3 cans, so I didn't even have to bring anything down with me. All his cans ran, and like I said, everything ran great. So like I said, I didn't really have any setbacks besides the cheesecake incident.
Yeah, so I was going to talk to you about that. So, like, to explain to everybody what happened on that and how you were able to really think on your feet so that you didn't ruin that category.
Yeah, when I obviously you guys know I try to put my cheesecakes in the freezer just to firm them up. 3 of them just kind of it wasn't gonna work. I got all frustrated, and Hesh just told me, I don't know, man, do some of that chefy shit you take pictures of at home. So that's when we just went with the the drizzle and the pecan, and kind of, like I said, it turned out way better than it did. I think the cheesecakes, next time I'll freeze them before I come, and that way they're a little more firmer. So like I said, I got a 7 on tenderness, which I could get. Like I said, it could have been a little firmer, so I can't really argue with that. It is cheesecake, so, but it was definitely, I got it turned in. That's what really mattered. And like I said, even at 6th place, getting a 180 in dessert, I can't really complain about that, so.
I still am a firm believer that tenderness should be an automatic 9.
Yeah.
I don't get how you can, give a 7 on tenderness, on cake or on pudding or on any other pie or whatever is being turned in. To me, I've always thought that was a little ridiculous. I think it just should be a 9, and then you really hit on appearance and taste. Like, I can see where those can be screwed up. But texture, that's always just kind of blown my mind on how a judge could give a 7 on the texture of a cheesecake.
Yeah. So
Weird thing. Robert, what about you? Any hiccups in your cooks on either day?
Well, the only thing I would say is that my chicken ran a little longer than normal, which I mean, that's an easy fix. Just either obviously cook it longer or crank up the heat a little bit to kind of push it through. The only other thing was the pork. I just did money muscles. So, that probably hurt me because, that's all I'm turning in. So I didn't really have, a lot to choose from there. But definitely have to, if I continue to cook pork, I'm going to have to get a better knife or a knife sharpener to help me cut that money muscle a little bit better because my knives wasn't wanting to do the job very well.
Yeah. Hess, what about you?
On day one overall, I was happy with all my turn-ins. On day two, I know from my rib box, I was really struggling with making it look like something. Just a size of the ribs on top. So that was a bit of a struggle there. But, other than that, I was, like I said, it was great weather. There's just so many things that were in our favor as cooks. And I didn't have much.
Devin, what about you?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, it went smooth. Other than I forgot some product, which is always like my biggest fear when leaving is, oh no, I forgot something. So yeah, I did forget some stuff for chicken, pork timeline. Because some of you might know I'm pretty big on my timelines and everything, and so it actually probably finished 15 minutes earlier than I'd expected. So that was actually something I tweaked day two. I actually put them on about 30 minutes later than I did than day one.
Yeah,
that seemed to work out. There were a few other things I did on that end on day two that I didn't do. That I was rushing too much on day one, freaking out about making sure I get pork done, turned in. You always hear it's the worst category to turn in because there's all kinds of stuff that you're doing to get prepped and ready to go right after ribs. So,
yeah.
But for the most part, it all was pretty smooth. It ran the way I wanted it to, as well.
No, I mean, like I said, those hiccups you got to overcome and you got to roll with those punches. And like I said, if you're far away from home and you get something, it's not like you can run 15 minutes or 20 minutes back home. You've got to adjust right then and there and make it the best product that you can possibly make. You guys have all proved that that's a very important thing. It's great when everything goes smooth, right? Like, I mean, we all want it to go smooth, but 9 times out of 10, something will happen. Something is going to go wrong, and the ability to not freak out and just crumble, but roll with it, make it and make those adjustments last minute can be the difference between winning and losing. And you guys are all masters at overcoming that because, like I said, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak.
Well, guys, I got to give real quick.
Ahead.
I'm going to give a shout out to Nick for, on the People's Choice, kind of letting us run, get it done, the night before and let it, that way we didn't have to focus on it the day of our cook. A lot of places wouldn't do that, but Nick was great about that. That way we could focus on what we needed to do.
No, absolutely. So yeah, just kind of explain to everybody what happened. So typically on a People's Choice, you're doing the People's Choice like most ancillaries the day of the actual cook. What Nick allowed the guys to do who did People's Choice, and Weeze and Hess and Robert and Devin, I don't know if you guys or Lee, did you guys do People's Choice?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So what happened that Nick allowed to do was he allowed you guys to cook it day before on Friday night, rather than worry about it during the middle of the main cook on Saturday. And that was just a really cool thing that he did that helped the cook, right? And that's what I think is the benefit of having a comp organized by a guy who also cooks himself.
Yeah.
That they understand that it's very difficult to be juggling 3 categories, and backyard teams are typically doing 2. Now you've got a third, and then on top of that to have a People's Choice in there, just like with the dessert or with anything else. That's a difficult thing for any cook, no matter what level, to be able to do. You've got to have an army of people, almost like in like a little small kitchen, handling all those different dishes.
Yep.
And Nick was really awesome to allow you guys to do that night before. Yeah, so Weeze is 100% correct in shouting out Nick for making that adjustment that benefited the cook and maybe didn't necessarily benefit himself. So it was an awesome. So some of you guys have big events here coming up this weekend. You guys want to tell the audience what events you have coming up this past weekend as we move towards the end of the season?
So this weekend on Saturday, I'm cooking turkey, chicken, and ribs in Union Grove, and then as soon as I'm done with my last turn in, I'm packing up and headed up to West Salem, Wisconsin, to cook the second day of bringing home the bacon. And a big shout out to my buddy Alan from Magnum PIG. He's going to give me a place to crash for the night, so I don't have to pack up a tent or like that. I can just bring my 10 by 15 and a couple tables and make it nice and easy. So.
No, that's awesome, man. That really definitely will help you. Robert, you got anything coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm doing the booby Q at the end of the month. That's the next thing on there. Whether that's a single or a double.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the rib burn that.
Need more.
So
sign up.
Yeah, but other than that, the only thing I got left for this year is the Invitational in November.
Yeah, I heard these real assholes are organizing Booby Q. I forgot their name.
Right.
Right. But no, it's gonna be just terrible. What?
Right.
Yeah, real pricks.
Yeah, that's why I'm not coming down.
Exactly.
Yeah, the store is
Right.
awful. The people are mean. No.
Right.
No. No.
No.
Yeah.
We're getting there though. I just had 2 sign up today as well. I know it'd be at least the day one. Backyard. Yeah, I think right now day 1 was sitting at probably 11 or 12. Day 2 probably going to be somewhere in that 7 to 8. So I'll definitely need to push to try to get that. 12 would be perfect. 2 full tables. And definitely it's probably be the last week. So I'll find out this weekend how many teams we have and if it's going to stay a single or not.
Okay, I was about to
it's
say
a double right now.
For backyard.
But yeah, if something happens that people bail or don't start signing up this week, then yeah, it might be a big single.
Okay.
But end of the year, point chasing, everybody's there. There's a lot of people chasing points right now around that weekend and final weekend, and let's kind of get a little push on that is what we're wanting to do. It's going to a good cause. We got 2 charities that we're giving to as well, BET, and then breast cancer charity as well. And then the rest of the proceeds, it's all coming back to the teams. So we're going to have a big potluck on Friday night as well. So cook stuff up. And that's going to be, we're going to be mingled in with Masters and everything. So it's a big welcoming party. It's not, backyard this side, Masters this side, and don't cross the line type of a deal. Everybody loved it last year, was surprised at how welcoming the Masters teams were with backyard people. Being my first season, I haven't noticed any of that on the backyard side, but I know at some point, some teams weren't so happy and stuff like that. Might be standoffish, but this competition last year, everybody ranted and raved and said they had a fun time. And it was one of those ones where teams were like, out of all the years, that one and a couple others, like Nick's was one. Ours were 2 that Ryan mentioned that he probably had the funnest at as well. So those were always on my calendar to go there and have some fun. But then with Nick's, his is a real good cause that he goes to as well on it. So I knew no matter what, I was going to that just to help out.
So you don't have anything?
So definitely get signed up, everyone.
Yeah, like I said, we'll be there for day 1. We had talked about trying to do day 2, but I don't know if that's going to be, if we're going to pull that off, but we'll be there for the Saturday cook. Absolutely. To get that in, and that will be the last one of the season for us. So,
right.
So, and Hess, where you're heading some miles this weekend. Do you want to tell everybody where you're going to be going this weekend to cook?
Well, this weekend I'm off. I'm looking forward to it. The following weekend I'm in Mississippi, and then the weekend after that I'm in Booby Q. So I'll be there, Zach.
Oh, I didn't know that you signed up for it.
Oh yeah, I got to pay for it Friday. My wife didn't sign the permission slip yet, but I'm good. And
That's
then
awesome. I didn't
I'm
know.
doing the invitational as well.
Yeah.
So
Yay.
Very,
yeah.
very cool. Like I said, no, I didn't know that you had signed up. I saw that that Rucking Fidiculous, they were at Tahlequah. They signed up, and then I didn't know that you had too.
Well, Devin waived my entry fee. He wants a couple celebrities there, so I'll do it.
Right.
If you'd want to waive somebody's day 2, that'd be really cool.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
That's hard.
Lee, do you have any cooks coming up here soon?
My year's done.
Your
Year's
year is
correct.
done.
Yep.
All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming on the show tonight. Like I said, a segment I think we're going to continue. We very well may do it after Booby Q, especially because it's going to be such a diverse field down there. And so we were planning on continuing this into the next season of the show where, every so often a big backyard comp, we will highlight it and we'll have on the top 5 from that competition, and kind of do like a post-mortem, so to speak, of the competition. So this has been really good. Thank you guys so much for coming on tonight.
And I just want to give a shout out
Thanks
to
for
Billy
having
Ray
us.
Cyrus.
Good seeing you guys. I'll see you guys soon, and I'll definitely see you guys at Booby Q.
All right. Bye,
Sounds
guys.
good.
All right, thanks, guys, so much.
Take care, y'all.
Take care.
Midwest Backyard Matters, brought to you by Man Meat Barbecue. Additional sponsors: American Fire Barbecue and Grilling Supply, Sofa King Awesome Barbecue, Trauma Hogs Barbecue, and Hunsaker Smokers.